Good afternoon, financial professionals. My name is Jennifer Nadeau, case design specialist here at E4 Insurance Services, welcoming you to The Brew, building relationships every week. Thanks for tuning in today. For those of you joining The Brew for the first time, we like to kick off The Brew by celebrating what today's national day is. And today is National Love is Kind Day, National New Jersey Day. I think last week it was National Pennsylvania Day, National Scotch Day, National Creme Brulee Day. This is starting to make me think about after dinner activities. And last but not least, it's National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day. So a special thank you to all of our veterans, but especially on this day, our Korean War veterans, for your service to this country. On today's Brew, we welcome Andrew Herrera, Regional Vice President at North American, as he discusses a topic called Retirement Plus. Retirement Plus is a strategy that combines supplemental income, retirement income, I should say, with protection. And before we get started with Andrew, I'd like to remind you to please feel free to use the chat box to share your thoughts or ask questions throughout our time today. Also, all attendees will be entered into a drawing for a prize, and we will announce the winner at the end of the call today. So thank you for tuning in, and welcome, Andrew. Very nice to have you with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate the opportunity to be with you, E4, and all the advisors this afternoon.
Awesome. So let's just jump right into it. What is this sales concept that you're going to be talking to us today called Retirement Plus?
Sure, absolutely. It kind of stems from the supplemental retirement concept, which I know a lot of advisors are familiar with, right? And I think oftentimes, we'll call it a LIRP, right? A life insurance retirement plan is kind of the catchphrase that we've used in the industry to really talk about cash value life insurance, the power of cash value life insurance, how it can be used for clients that are looking for that, additional income in retirement. And a lot of clients are actually going to need that, right? Because we know that especially high income earners are going to have what we call a retirement gap. That is, they're maxing out what they can do in a qualified plan like a 401k, but often it's not enough. When we project that out, we know that they're going to have a gap, and what better way to fill that gap with cash value life insurance, which again, we know can grow tax deferred and you can take income tax free from. And that's really, a lot of people that I talk to, they understand the power of that. They see the ticking time bomb when we look at numbers like, I think the latest debt that we have in this country, over $30 trillion and growing. And so oftentimes, advisors recognize this and clients get it now that taxes are probably going to go up in the future. And again, cash value life insurance is such a great asset to have because when you fund that today, right, you're not worried about where taxes are going to go in the future. That's not going to impact you if tax rates go up dramatically. I'm in a financial vehicle that's, again, going to grow tax deferred and I can take tax-free income from. And while that is a great, retirement story, the retirement plus aspect is, are we doing enough, right? And so that plus part comes in where instead of the standalone cash value life insurance plan, why don't we add term insurance in addition to that? And the reason for that, Jennifer, is we really need to be capturing the entire death benefit need that the client has, right? So that client will oftentimes, work with the advisor, design that cash value life insurance plan for supplemental retirement purposes or tax diversification. But we know that, and many of you that are familiar with this design, the death benefit on those really start out pretty small, and they grow over time, but it doesn't meet the client's entire death benefit need today. Right? If they were to pass away while they're funding that plan, what are they going to leave behind, to their beneficiaries, to their loved ones? And so Retirement Plus is this idea that, yes, the cash value life insurance plan is a great tool. It's a great asset to have. It's a great diversification tool, but it's oftentimes not enough. And we should be looking at that term insurance in addition or in conjunction with that cash value life insurance plan. And that's where we came up with the Retirement Plus.
Excellent. And yeah, Andrew, you bring up a really good point that when we structure these types of plans, we design it with the lowest death benefit possible, right, to get the most income out of it. So what you're suggesting, it sounds like, is having two contracts, one for the income needs and the other for protection. So can you tell me what that looks like, having two different policies?
Sure. And you're absolutely right. The way we design it, right, is we want to maximize the cash for the client. So that entails having the lowest death benefit possible, especially in the early years. And so the process on what that looks like is the great thing with North American. It's one application, right? It's one e-app, working through E4 and North American. We will code two policies off one app. So we will provide, that cash value life insurance policy that the client wants. And we can also build the term application alongside that using one application to make it very efficient for the client. The majority of our cases, over 55% of the cases with North American, are approved via accelerated underwriting. Again, those for ages 18 through 60. And even those that need to go through traditional underwriting, we're having very quick turnaround times, about 24 days or less on average for full underwriting. Only order APSs in about 18% of our cases. So we understand the value of getting these policies placed as quickly as possible for the advisor and for your client. And so we can build two of these policies off one application. It's a very simple process, one that we're familiar with. And a lot of times, if you're an advisor and you've worked with North American in the past, you may have seen an underwriting offer come from us where we say, we know that Mr. and Mrs. Client only applied for $200,000 of death benefit. We're willing to approve up to $2 million without any additional requirements. So oftentimes, if you're working with your case manager at E4, you're probably familiar with that language already from North American. And that's because we recognize that, we get you're doing the cash value plan, but in case they want that additional plus, right, that term policy, we're willing to go up to that without any additional requirements on behalf of the client.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And process is so important too, right? Ease of submitting business, that sort of thing. So great to know that the same application can be used. Could we just shift a little bit and talk about flexibility? So most of us know with permanent type plans, there's a lot of flexibility to meet changing needs. But with term insurance, it's pay your premium, there's your death benefit. When your term period ends, your contract ends. So do the clients have any options as it relates to term going forward?
That's a great question, Jennifer, and they do, right? And I think that is another important aspect of this plan, is that you provide more flexibility and more options to the client. So if I'm a client and I have that cash value, policy that I'm funding for retirement, but I have this term policy alongside it, I can convert that term policy, and that gives me some options. And one of the great options is I can convert that into my existing IUL with North American. So that's always an option. Or I can convert that into a new, product. I can even convert it into a different focus type product, right? So more of a guaranteed death benefit product. We're still a carrier that offers GUL, GIUL. So if I'm thinking more estate planning needs down the future, I've got that option as well. And so again, you've got that flexibility with North American that, hey, they've got such a breadth of product portfolio that I can convert into different options, or I can always convert into my existing IUL that I already have with them and do that as well. And by the way, we're one of the few carriers that offer that benefit. And also keep in mind, all of our products at North American have living benefits tied onto them as well. So like I said, there's a lot of options for the client that you've created by doing this plan and giving them different routes that they may want to explore as their needs change as they get older.
Right. And I do want to touch on living benefits with you in a second. I did write it down, but I want to make sure, and you did say it, but it's just something unique, I think, is that we can convert the term into an existing IUL contract, not just taking out a new one.
Absolutely. You heard correctly. We're one of the few carriers that I know of that you can convert into your existing product. So you can convert that term into your existing IUL. Of course, you can convert into a new product. That's not anything unique there. And I should note that our conversions are commissionable, right? So whether you're converting to a new product or converting into the existing product, that is going to be a commissionable event for the advisor. I only bring that up tongue in cheek because I know there's a carrier that this week announced that their conversions are no longer going to be commissionable. So just want to let you know we still pay commissions on North American.
Excellent. And, we need to know about all aspects. So thank you for that. Okay, let's go back to living benefits now. Can you talk to me a little bit more about the living benefits on these products as we talk about flexibility?
Yeah, as I noted, in this plan, you would have living benefits on that cash value life insurance plan, right, the IUL, as well as the term policy. Very few term policies, in fact, offer living benefits on them. We're one of the few carriers that has that. We're certainly the lowest cost carrier that has living benefits and conversion options on their product. I like to sum it up by, and I call it CCT. And those of you who have heard me, talk about our products before, you've heard me say CCT, and that's the critical, chronic, and terminal illness riders that are included on all of our product portfolio, right? So critical means that if you have one of 5 triggering events, the most common are cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Those are the 3 most common. Kidney failure and organ transplant are the other 2. So those are a triggering event to access the critical illness rider on those policies. Chronic is you can't perform 2 activities of daily living. So if, it doesn't have to be permanent. As long as it's over 90 days, you can qualify for the chronic. Alzheimer's or dementia also falls under the chronic illness rider. And terminal is a life expectancy of 2 years or less, right? So if the doctor says you're diagnosed with, this type of cancer, you're expected to live maybe a year, you could accelerate under the terminal illness rider. But by having those 2 policies, I've got those 2 options, right? I've got living benefits on both policies. So if I, God forbid, if I suffered a heart attack, I wouldn't necessarily need to accelerate from my cash value life insurance plan. I've got the term policy that I can utilize for that rider. So again, it's flexibility, it's creating options, and living benefits, are included on the term and the IUL with North American.
Excellent. And with your chronic illness rider, that's an indemnity type plan. Is that correct for your chronic illness?
That is correct. So no receipts are necessary. In fact, once we do a payout, the client can use that money for whatever they'd like, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be to offset medical expenses or pay medical bills. They can utilize it for whatever they need to.
Yeah, I like to say that the condition needs to be qualified, not what the funds are going to be used for. So great. That's another great advantage. Okay, I would love to leave some time for questions, but before we open it up, can you give us the biggest takeaway you'd like our advisors to leave with today?
Yeah, I think, again, it's starting, going back to the beginning when I started with, is, do clients have enough, right? Even when we present them the cash value life insurance option, which is a great option, is that going to be enough? I think if we know anything from the LIMRA statistics, it's that most Americans are either uninsured or underinsured, right? And so we need to make sure that clients have enough coverage, enough death benefit coverage, if God forbid they pass away early. And so that's why we bridge that gap with term insurance as well as permanent policy side by side, retirement plus. Do clients have enough? We've got a great solution for them.
Excellent. Thank you. So I'd like to remind everyone that you can either unmute your lines or use the chat box to ask some questions. And while we're waiting to see if there's any questions, I would like to remind everyone that our full library of the brew can be viewed on our website, and that's www.e4.insurance. You can look at all of our great topics from the past. And let's do our giveaway to Andrew now. Can you pick a number, please, between 1 and 27?
I'm going to pick 27 since today is the 27th.
Perfect. How about that? Let's see. Our winner is Lori Tandy Wentz. I hope I'm saying that correctly, Lori. Congratulations. Be on the lookout for a complimentary CE voucher along with a gift card from Starbucks coming your way from all of us at E4. So congratulations, Lori. And let's see, any questions? You can unmute your lines or let's check out the chat box too. I do see a question here, Andrew, and it's surrounding term conversions. Is there a limited product portfolio as far as what the term contract can convert to?
That's a great question, because I know that there are carriers right out there that limit your conversion option into perhaps one specific product that they price just for that. So North American, you can convert to any permanent product. So Like I said, you can convert the example I used into your existing IUL. You can convert into a new IUL. You can convert into a GUL. You can convert into our single premium product. So our entire portfolio of permanent products is available for conversion.
Excellent. Another great advantage with North American, and that's to the end of the term period duration or a specific age, whichever comes first, right? I think it might be age 70.
Age 70 or the end of our conversion period, which, for example, on a 10-year term would be 7 years.
Yep.
Always have 5 years of conversion privileges, though. So
Perfect.
great. That's a great benefit. If a 72-year-old buys a term, they will still have 5 years to convert. So we always give at least 5 years.
Wonderful. I will pause again for any questions. All right. Well, that was some great information, Andrew. I love the concept called Retirement Plus, making sure that people's supplemental income needs are being met along with their protection need. And North American, great process, great conversion options as well. So we really appreciate you being on the call today. Tune in next Wednesday as we welcome Dave Socc, Vice President of National Benefits Group, as he discusses their supplemental employee benefit plan. This plan aims to recruit, reward, and retain employees who are or will be the key to success of a business. Dave will answer the questions of why do employers establish supplemental employee benefit plans, who they can be established for, and how flexible they can be. Thank you again, everyone, for joining, and have a great week, and we'll see you next week again on The Brew.